Ever use a compressor plug-in and you can tell right away you're not getting the best results? Like something just isn't sounding right. Your mix is sounding as if it's trapped in a vacuum and your beats are lacking that top-notch quality and performance. It's like they're not hitting the mark that you know they're capable of. Don't be too hard on yourself. There's 3 mistakes that most of us music producers make when using the compressor plug-in. Today we'll cover how to avoid all 3 and how to get the best possible use out of our compressor plug-ins. PLBers, you know what time it is. Let's grow. Welcome to another episode of Platinum Lyrics and Beats. I'm your host, Trey Boy. What's up, what's up? Let's jump straight into it, all right? 3 compressor mistakes to avoid when mixing your music. Mistake number 1, over compression, all right? Over compression is when the compression settings are like too aggressive, resulting in a loss of dynamic and a flattened, lifeless like sound, all right? This is the exact opposite of what we want in our beats. Let's move over to the session I'm working on. I'm going to show you how to correct this. All right, we got the track set up here. I have my snare sample here, all right? And we have our compressor plug-in down here. All right, all we want to do is use a lighter touch. We can start with the lower compression ratio. All right, we're over here, and the threshold. Then we can gradually increase them until you achieve the desired amount of compression without squashing the dynamics, all right? So I'm gonna let you listen to it, how I have it mixed on here now. See, it's still coming through there strong, right? If I want to bring the threshold down, I can do that here. All right? Now, this is too much. Right? It's too much. We don't want that. We don't want to squash the sound down to where it's not peaking at the right place. We want that snare sample to bleed through the track. All right? Then we can use the makeup gain after applying the compression and use the makeup gain to bring the overall track back up if necessary, all right? But be careful not to overdo it. This can send the over compression over the top. All right? You could have too much. You don't want that, okay? But you can tweak it with your compressor plug-in. You can tweak it. And if I want to bring a little bit more down, I can adjust the ratio there. So that's how we would handle not using too much compression on our samples and overdoing it, making our samples sound like they're squish and like it's in a straitjacket. Yo, we'll get back to the episode in just a few minutes, but I want to give you a free gift for rocking with me today, all right? Are you tired of your beats sitting on your hard drive collecting dust? Are you struggling to make money from all the hard work, time, and effort you put into making dope music? If the answer is yes, this is the perfect time to build a profitable email list to market, promote, and sell your beats, songs, or products if you have any, all right? Just go to buildlistsellbeats.com. Buildlistsellbeats.com and download the email marketing tools for music producers checklist for free. That's right, I'm giving this game for free. You'll get access to the game-changing list of tools and resources that enable me to gain a lucrative email list with supportive listeners and music lovers ready to make a purchase. All right, email marketing is here to stay. Check the data. 347 billion emails were sent and received per day in 2023. All right, And it's going to just increase from there. And for music producers, artists, songwriters like ourselves looking to grow and build their fan base, supporters, and bank account, may I add, all right, building an email list is the most rewarding thing you can do. Take advantage of the potential profits you can make on your musical journey by downloading the proven, neatly, well-crafted, laid-out checklist today, all right? Go to buildlistsellbeats.com and download the checklist today and turn your passion for creating music into money in your bank account. The link's in the description. Back to the episode. Let's go. Okay, here we go with mistake number 2. Mistakes that music producers make when using the compressor plug-in, all right? Mistake number 2. Incorrect attack and release settings. All right, this is important. It's a small thing, but it's really important. It can really mess up your mix and make your sample sound like trash. All right, as we talked about in episode 58, the attack and release knobs are both like the timing control for your compressor. All right, the attack decides how quickly the compressor kicks in once the sound crosses the threshold, and the release determines how long it takes for the compressor to let go after the sound drops below the threshold. All right, setting the attack and release time incorrectly can lead to unnatural sound and compression and even introduce distortion. All right. Okay, for us to correct this, we want to set the appropriate attack time. If the attack time is too fast, it can squash the initial transit of the sound, resulting in an unnatural dull sound. All right. On the other hand, if it's too slow, it may allow the transit to pass through unaffected, defeating the purpose of the compression in the first place. All right. Now, let me show you what a transit is so you can see where we're going with this. Okay, the transit refers to the initial short peak in the audio signal, such as the attack of a drum hit, which you see here with the snare drum, and the pluck of a guitar string, you know, something like that. But you can see the initial short peak in it, all right? They are the short live bursts of energy that occurs at the beginning of a sound or a waveform, okay? That's what I'm showing you here. All right, I just zoomed in. This would be like the transit right here, all right? Transits are crucial for defining the character of a punch of a sound and play a significant role in the audio perception, all right, especially in music production and mixing, okay? That's what the transit is right there. So when you hear somebody say anything about the transit, they're talking about the peak of the audio file, all right? That's the transit. Okay, but the key is to adjust the attack and giving it time, all right, to allow the transit through while still controlling the body of the sound. Now, the release time that comes in too fast can cause pumping and breathing sounding results, okay? While the release time that is too slow can result in the compressor not fully releasing before the next peak or transit leads to the loss of dynamics. In other words, if you mess these two things up, the attack and the release, your mix is going to suck. All right, your mix is going to suck if you mess these two up. The timing has to be right. The timing has to be right. Now, we want to experiment with different release times to find the optimal setting for the tracks or the beats that we're working on, okay? We want to experiment with the track and the release time. That's how you're going to get a feel for it, by listening to it and gauging it with your ears. Ever catch yourself with beats constantly playing in your head? Do you use pots and pans or maybe even your school desk as an imaginary drum machine? Look, I've been there, seeking an outlet for all of that creative energy. That's why I dove into the world of music production, and it transformed my creative space entirely. If you're itching to explore the world of music production, look, I got you covered. I created a free video, The Beginner's Guide for Music Producers. All right? I'm covering the essential equipment for producers, guiding you through crafting a dope beat from scratch and shedding light on the exciting career paths awaiting skilled music producers ready to make money from doing what they love. All right? Ready to dive into this amazing musical journey? Head over to AspireProducersLab.com no-nos.com today, and let's unwrap the gift of music production together. Your creative adventure starts now at aspireproducerslab.com. Back to the episode. And as I mentioned before, don't get so caught up in the numbers that you see on the plugin that you're using, all right? The gain, input, and output numbers are the most important. But the best thing to do is to listen to the sound and the mix in your ear and see how it feels. That's what you want to do. You want to see how it feels, and that will give you a true measure of what you should be rocking with. All right? Okay, now here we go with mistake number 3. Mistakes to avoid when using a compressor plugin. All right? Using a compressor to fix a crappy recording. All right? The compressor plugin is not a fix-all type of plugin. All right? As a matter of fact, it probably just would make things worse the more you mess with it. If you got a messed up recording, just re-record it, all right? Especially if you haven't started with a great recording to begin with. You just want to re-record and then slap your plugins on there. And that's with any plug, to be honest with you. A wise engineer once gave me some great advice. Trash in, trash out. If you have a trash recording, the output of that recording is going to be trash as well. Get the recording right first. Get the sample right first. Now, there are some unique times and moments where you may have a mistake, a perfect mistake. You know, are you recording, has a little hiccup, and you can use that to be creative. But I'm not talking about that right now. All right? I'm not talking about that. If your vocals are coming in too hot, or there's a click in the sample, whatever's going on with the actual recording, let's fix that first. Now, while compressor plugins can help control dynamics, it shouldn't be relied on to fix poorly recorded or mixed tracks, all right? It's important to address the issue at the source rather than solely relying on the compression to save the day. You don't want to do that. By avoiding these 3 common mistakes, like overcompression, using incorrect attack and release settings, and lastly, trying to cover up major issues in the recording by using the compressor plugin. Don't do that, man. All right? Producers can achieve more dope results and controlled compression in their mixes. All right? Aspiring music producers, fellow music producers, thank you for hanging out with me today, supporting PLB. Subscribe so you can watch more videos like this every week. Remember to produce with a purpose. Let's get that work. This Trey Boy. I'm out. Peace.